Welcome everyone, it's Form here, and I'm really excited to present you guys the first phase, step 1 of my blueprint, understanding coding logic. So in today's video, you guys are going to learn how to understand the coding logic, how the communication between the user and the computer works, and some rules about the computer that you need to know going forward on this journey. So let's start with a question. Why do we code? So computers are better than us, so making them work in our favor brings lots of benefits. How could we make them work for us then? That's when coding gets in. A computing language is made to facilitate communication between the computer and the user, allowing the computer to work as desired. So I did a little diagram here saying, nah, you cool for real, and then translating that into binary so that the computer understands and replies, I appreciate that, homeboy. Little heart. So to really understand how it works, I want you to think of the computer like a worker, but smarter and faster than you. You will give it instructions and it will do the job for you. Think of the computer like a worker, but smarter and faster than you. You'll give it instructions and it will do the job for you. So the general logistic is basically the start to end process of the coding process. So we're going to start giving the computer instructions, which is coding. The computer is going to understand it, execute, and give you results. So to give you a little example of this, let's use the print statement. So in Lua and other coding languages mostly, print is used to display information in the output. For example, if I write a lot of code, print step 1 coding logic, it will display step 1 coding logic in the screen. And what happens in the process is you're gonna write the code in your computer. There's going to be a compilation or interpretation, or even both. In the Luau's case is both. So it's going to transform your source code in bytecode, which is a simpler level of code closer to what the computer understands and the virtual machine is going to execute. So if I say print, it's going to transform into bytecode. In this case it's binary, but just an example, it's not that. And things are going to happen. And the computer follows step by step of everything of all the instructions that you've given it, and it's gonna display a result. So a little example I wrote here is 3 lines of code. The first one says print hello world, the second one assigns form 767 to best YouTuber, and the third line says print form 767. So what is happening when you run this is the first line is gonna obviously already like straightforward. It's gonna read the print statement and it's gonna see the hello world and print the hello world. So we see that on the display quickly. The second line, we are assigning something. So from now on, from line 2 onwards, if I ever say form 767, the computer is going to recognize it as best YouTuber. So on the other line, if I say print form 767, it's going to display best YouTuber. As you can see, the first line prints hello world and the third line prints best YouTuber. So as you guys already know, the user communicates through code to the computer. Code is a formal language, so every detail matters. So missing a comma or a typo can break your code. And don't worry, you're gonna break your code lots and lots of time until you eventually get the gist of it and you don't make the silly mistakes anymore. But something that you gotta be careful and pay a lot of attention is that code is read line by line and from top to bottom. So sometimes if you write the code in the wrong order, for example, in this case I wrote print form 767 and then local form 767 equals YouTuber. This wouldn't run. It actually would, but it would give an error because when I say print form 767 without assigning form 767, it just has nothing to print and it throws an error. But in the other hand, on the right case, if I first assign the variable, so if I say farm767 equals YouTuber, when I say print farm767, it's going to display YouTuber on the screen. So you need to remember that code runs from top to bottom. As you guys know, translation is required, so this one you guys already understood what happened. Bytecode, virtual machine, computer, that's it. And Luau uses both interpreter and compiler. The interpreter is used for execution, so the code is read line by line, then translated into machine code, and it executes immediately. Meanwhile, together with the interpreter, the compiler is used, and it's going to translate all the code to machine code before executing, and it is used to optimize the code that you ran. So the interpreter and the compiler together form a combination to optimize your code and run it without using so much without having a bad performance. So the key takeaways of this video are: computers are better than us, so making them work in our favor brings lots of benefits. Code is giving instructions to a computer. Simple as that. General logistic is the start to end process of a user to computer communication. Code must be exact and correct for the computer to understand it. The computer processes code line by line from top to bottom. We need to get this right. And the code gets translated into something the computer understands, and then it performs the requested actions, like printing or moving. You don't really need to know about this one, about the interpreter and the compiler, but it is good to know that, just so you understand how it works, especially the interpreter, which is code line by line and from top to bottom, because this could generate errors, but you don't need to remember interpreter and compiler going on. It's just basically a fun fact, and of course how the coding logic works. And don't forget, if you want to become a better coder and step up your game, my premium community is what will make your coding really elevate. Stop wasting your time trying to figure out stuff when you can learn from experts that know what they're doing. Join like-minded people, other ambitious coders that will push you to reaching your goals and becoming successful. You're gonna get direct support from me 24/7. Get access to the full blueprint. And my Discord has more than 1,000 members. If you actually want to stand out, acknowledge this opportunity and do what is necessary. I'll see you inside. So I hope that you liked it. Make sure to write down everything and test yourself to see if you really got this. Use a little AI, get an AI that it's gonna summarize this video for you or something like that, so you can test yourself. So thank you for watching.